I am going to show you how to create buckets and assessments within EduSite. Within EduSite, a group of assessments is called a bucket. To create a bucket, my first step is to select the class that I'm working with along the left-hand side of my screen, and then select the Assessments tab along the top of the screen. Now I will click Create Bucket. I can assign a name and a weight for the bucket. In this case, I will call my bucket Homework, and I will apply a weight of 30% for all of the assessments within this bucket for the student's final grade. Now that I have created a homework bucket, I will create a new assessment. I will simply click New Assessment, and now I can enter everything for the new assessment. First, I will enter the name, so Homework Assignment 1. I can indicate the date that the assessment is due. I will select Monday, September 5th, and click Done. I can select which standards the assessment assesses. I will select 3 standards and click off of the pop-up screen. Then I can select or enter how many marks the assessment is out of. In this case, the assessment is out of 100 marks. And then I can enter how many weights or points the assessment is worth. In this case, I will enter a weight of 10. I have now created my first assessment within my homework bucket. On first look, I can see the name of the assessment, the date the assessment is due, and that 3 standards are assessed within this assessment. I can also share this assessment with parents and students by clicking the gray lock button. When I click the button, a pop-up box appears and asks if I would like to publish the assessment to parents and students. Once I click OK, the parents and students will be able to view the mark that I entered for that student for that assessment. I will now create a second bucket. This one I will call Quizzes. I will apply a weight of 70% for this bucket and click Create. I can now create a new assessment. This time I will call it Quiz 1. I will indicate the due date as today, September 7th. I will select which standards were assessed. I will make this assessment out of a mark of 200, and I will apply a weight of 25 points for this quiz within the quiz bucket. Now that the assessment has been created, I can simply drag and drop assessments between buckets if I would like. In this case, I will move Quiz 1 into the homework bucket by dragging and dropping into homework. I can also simply copy an assessment by clicking the gray drop-down button in the top right-hand corner and clicking Copy. Now, when I select a bucket, I can paste this assessment into the bucket. I will select the gray button in the top right-hand corner of my Quizzes bucket and click Paste Assessment. I now have a duplicate assessment for Quiz 1 within the quiz bucket. If I would like, I can delete this assessment by clicking the top right drop-down button and select Delete, or I can edit the assessment by selecting Edit. Finally, I can copy buckets from another class by selecting the button Copy Buckets from Another Classroom. From here, I can select a class to copy buckets from. In this case, I will copy from grade 6. And now the buckets from an existing class have been copied over to my math or my science grade 6 demo class. Finally, I can view which standards have been assessed by assessments by scrolling over to the right side of the screen and selecting the Standards Assessed button. Within this view, we can see how many times each standard for a course has been assessed by hovering my mouse over the standard and seeing a list of which assessments the standard has been tagged to. That's how you get up and running with assessments and buckets within EduSite.